You may have a 1985 penny in your pocket right now. Seems ordinary, right? But what if I told you that this tiny piece of copper-coated zinc could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars or even more? Yes, you heard that correctly. The 1985 USA penny might just be your hidden treasure, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this seemingly simple coin has collectors buzzing with excitement. So, stick around because you won't want to miss the shocking revelations we're about to uncover. First, let's set the stage. The 1985 penny, officially known as the Lincoln cent, features the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln on the front, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design has been in use since 1909, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. The reverse side features the Lincoln Memorial, a design that lasted from 1959 to 2008. On the surface, the 1985 penny doesn't appear to be much different from the millions of pennies produced in other years. But as they say, the devil is in the details. In 1985, the U.S. Mint was churning out billions of pennies. To be precise, over 5.6 billion were minted in Philadelphia, over 8.4 billion in Denver, and approximately 3.3 million proof coins in San Francisco. With numbers like these, it's easy to assume that a 1985 penny couldn't possibly be rare or valuable. But here's the catch: it's not the sheer quantity that matters. It's the anomalies, the errors, and the exceptional conditions that turn an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. Let's dive into what makes the 1985 penny so special. Among the billions of coins minted, there are a few that stand out due to rare errors and variants. These errors are like winning the lottery for coin collectors. One of the most sought-after errors is the double die. This occurs when the coin's design is struck twice, slightly off-center, creating a doubling effect. On a 1985 penny, you might notice doubling on the words "Liberty" or "In God We Trust." The letters may appear blurry or duplicated, which can increase the coin's value exponentially. A double die error on a coin from this year could fetch thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars at auction. Another error to watch for is the off-center strike. This happens when the blank coin or planchet isn't properly aligned with the die during the minting process. The result is a coin where part of the design is missing, creating a strikingly unusual appearance. The more off-center the strike, the more valuable the coin becomes. Imagine finding one of these rare off-center 1985 pennies. You could be holding a small fortune in your hand. Then there are the filled die errors. Over time, grease or debris can accumulate in the dies used to strike coins. When this happens, parts of the design may not be fully impressed onto the coin. A filled die error might result in missing or incomplete letters, such as a penny that reads E pluribus unu instead of E pluribus unum. These errors are subtle but highly collectible, with values that can soar depending on the extent and uniqueness of the mistake. Now you might be thinking, how do I know if I have one of these rare error coins? The answer lies in the details. To spot these valuable variants, you'll need a good magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Start by closely examining the lettering, the date, and the mint mark, which is the tiny letter below the date indicating where the coin was minted. If you notice anything unusual, such as doubled letters, missing elements, or an off-center design, you could be in possession of a rare treasure. But errors aren't the only thing that can make a 1985 penny valuable. The coin's condition is equally important. Collectors use a grading system to assess a coin's state, ranging from poor for coins that are heavily worn to mint state for coins that look as fresh as the day they were minted. A 1985 penny in mint state condition, especially one with a high grade like MS-67 or MS-68, can be worth hundreds of dollars, even without any errors. Why? Because coins in pristine condition are incredibly rare, given that most pennies are subjected to years of circulation and wear. Let me give you a real-world example. In 2021, a 1985 penny graded MS-68 by a professional grading service sold for over $2,000 at auction. And that's just for a standard penny with no errors. Now imagine combining that level of preservation with a rare error like a double die or an off-center strike. The value could easily climb into the tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's not just pristine coins and dramatic errors that attract attention, though. Sometimes minor details can make a world of difference. For instance, the tiny mint mark can be a game changer. Coins minted in Philadelphia typically lack a mint mark, while those from Denver feature a D, and proof coins from San Francisco bear an S. However, errors in the mint mark, such as a misplaced or unusually shaped letter, can significantly boost a coin's value. So, how can you tell if your 1985 penny is worth something? First, examine its condition. Look for any signs of wear or damage. A coin that has been heavily circulated will likely have little value beyond its face value, unless it has a significant error. Next, inspect it for any anomalies such as doubled letters, off-center strikes, or filled die errors. If you're unsure, consider consulting a professional coin grader or a reputable dealer. They have the expertise and tools to accurately assess your coin's value. But here's the real kicker. Even if your 1985 penny doesn't have any errors or isn't in mint condition, it could still be worth more than you think. That's because certain coins from this year have achieved legendary status among collectors. These are the pennies that defy all odds, the ones with unique stories or features that make them one of a kind. And the best part? You don't need to be a seasoned collector to stumble upon one of these gems. Could happen to anyone, anywhere, at any time. Before we wrap up, let me leave you with one final thought. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises. What might seem like an ordinary penny could turn out to be a priceless artifact. And the 1985 penny is a perfect example of this. It's a coin that's often overlooked, yet it holds the potential to change lives. So, the next time you find a penny, don't dismiss it. Take a closer look. Because you never know, it might just be the key to your financial future. But here's the twist. There's one more shocking fact about the 1985 penny that could change the way you see these coins forever. Could it be hiding a secret that links it to one of the rarest coins in US history? That's a story for another video. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. And if you've ever found a 1985 penny with a unique feature, let us know in the comments below. Who knows? Your discovery could be the next big headline in the world of coin collecting. In the world of coin collecting, few coins carry as much intrigue and excitement as the 1969 US penny. On the surface, it may appear to be just another common piece of currency, but for those who know what to look for, it can be a treasure trove hiding in plain sight. The story of the 1969 penny is one of rarity, hidden value, and the incredible impact that small, seemingly insignificant errors can have on a coin's worth. Some of these pennies have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, or even more. So, how does a seemingly humble penny become so valuable? The answer lies in the errors it might contain, the specific characteristics that make it different from the rest, and the dedicated collectors who are always on the lookout for that next big find. The first thing to understand is that not all 1969 pennies are created equal. Most of the pennies from this year, whether minted in Philadelphia or Denver, are fairly standard in terms of their design and composition. The 1969 penny, like many other US coins from the era, is composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc, and it features the famous Lincoln Memorial design on the reverse and Lincoln's portrait on the obverse. But beyond these basic features, there are small details that separate the rare finds from the common coins. In this case, the key lies in the possibility of errors that can transform an otherwise ordinary penny into something extraordinarily valuable. Before diving into the different types of errors, let's talk about what exactly an error is. Coin errors are typically classified into three main categories: die errors, planchet errors, and striking errors. A die error occurs when the design on the die, which is used to stamp the image onto the coin, is flawed in some way. A planchet error is when the coin's blank metal disc, known as a planchet, is defective before it's struck. And striking errors happen when something goes wrong during the process of actually stamping the image onto the planchet, resulting in a coin that's either misaligned, has a double strike, or even lacks some design elements entirely. When it comes to the 1969 penny, the most valuable errors are typically die errors. These errors can result in coins that are double-struck, off-center, or display unusual die cracks. But perhaps the most famous and most valuable error that can be found in a 1969 penny is the double die obverse DDO, a rare type of die error that has made some 1969 pennies worth thousands, if not millions, of dollars. The 1969's double die obverse penny is particularly significant in the coin collecting world. This coin was struck with a die that was misaligned during the minting process, resulting in the doubling of the design on the obverse, specifically on the word Liberty and the date, 1969. The doubling is noticeable to anyone who knows what to look for, and it is one of the most sought-after errors in the world of coin collecting. In fact, it is so rare that many collectors consider it the holy grail of 1969 pennies. But how do you spot this error? It's not always as simple as it might seem. The key is to carefully inspect the design, particularly the letters and numbers. On a normal 1969 penny, the lettering and date will appear crisp and clear with well-defined edges. However, when a double die error occurs, the image appears to be slightly offset, giving the appearance of a ghost, image, or shadow beside the original one. The doubling is often more pronounced in certain areas, like the top of the L in Liberty or the tail of the 9 in the date. This is where the real value lies, as the more pronounced the doubling, the more valuable the coin becomes. Now, you might be wondering, how rare is this 1969's double die obverse penny, and how much is it worth? While it's difficult to put a precise number on the value of these coins, it's safe to say that they can fetch tens of thousands of dollars depending on their condition. In some cases, a 1969's DDO penny in mint condition has sold for as much as $100,000 or more. In fact, the most well-known 1969's DDO penny, a specimen graded MS-65, mint state with no visible wear, was sold for nearly $200,000 in a recent auction. But the story doesn't end there. Over the years, there have been many instances where collectors stumbled upon these rare error coins, sometimes without even realizing their worth. Take, for example, the story of a coin dealer in the 1970s who bought a small collection of pennies from a local estate sale. Among the pile of seemingly ordinary coins was a 1969's DDO penny, which the dealer initially didn't recognize as valuable. It wasn't until he took a closer look at the coin under magnification that he realized the doubling on the coin's design. That small, overlooked error turned out to be worth thousands of dollars, and the dealer went on to make a substantial profit. This story is not unique. Many collectors have discovered valuable error coins in the most unlikely places, whether it's in old jars of loose change, boxes of coins from garage sales, or even within family heirlooms passed down through generations. The point is, these rare error coins are often hiding in plain sight, and the thrill of discovering one is part of what makes coin collecting so exciting. But what if you don't have a rare 1969's DDO penny sitting in your change jar right now? Don't worry, there are other valuable error coins to be found. Aside from the double die obverse, another common error on 1969 pennies is the off-center strike. This error occurs when the planchet isn't properly aligned with the die, causing the coin to be struck off-center. The result is a coin that looks like it's missing a portion of its design. Depending on how far off-center the strike is, these coins can also be quite valuable, especially if they're well preserved. Another error to look out for is die cracks. Die cracks occur when the die used to strike the coins develops a crack, which then gets transferred onto the coin. In some cases, these cracks can create interesting and unique patterns on the coin, like cracks running through Lincoln's neck or along the reverse of the coin. While die cracks may not always be as valuable as double die errors, they still add a layer of rarity and uniqueness to a coin, making them desirable to collectors. So, how do you go about identifying these valuable errors? The first step is to examine your 1969 pennies closely. Start by looking at the date and the word Liberty on the obverse. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to inspect the details of the coin. Look for any signs of doubling, especially around the edges of the letters and numbers. If you spot doubling, you may have a valuable error coin on your hands. Next, check for any signs of off-center strikes. These coins will have a portion of the design missing, which is typically most noticeable on the edge of the coin. If the design is significantly misaligned, it's worth setting aside and further inspecting. Finally, look for any die cracks. These can appear as fine lines running through the design, often in unexpected places. While die cracks may not always result in huge payouts, they still add a level of rarity to the coin which can increase its value. If you do find a coin with an error, it's important to get it graded by a professional coin grading service. Grading is a critical step in determining the true value of a coin, as it assesses its condition and authenticity. Coins that are graded higher, especially those with minimal wear, can command significantly higher prices. While the 1969's double die obverse penny is by far the most valuable error, other 1969 pennies with notable errors are still worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on their condition and rarity. The key is to know what to look for and to take the time to carefully examine your coins. The world of coin collecting is full of excitement and discovery, and the 1969 penny is just one example of how a seemingly ordinary coin can hold immense value. Whether it's through a rare error, an overlooked misprint, or the thrill of stumbling upon a coin that's worth far more than you imagined, coin collecting offers endless opportunities for discovery. So, the next time you receive a 1969 penny, take a moment to inspect it carefully. You never know, what might seem like just another penny could turn out to be your ticket to a small fortune.